The air in your room feels different this Friday morning, doesn't it? It's as if the very molecules around you have stopped their frantic, chaotic dance and have finally settled into a rhythm that matches the beating of your own heart. For years, you carried a sensation that you were walking through a heavy, invisible fog, a world where your thoughts were shouting in one direction, your body was dragging in another, and your soul was whispering from a distance you couldn't quite reach. You were a kingdom divided against itself, a masterpiece that had been intentionally shattered into three distinct pieces so that you would never realize the sheer magnitude of the power you hold. You felt the exhaustion in your bones that sleep couldn't fix, the anxiety in your mind that logic couldn't calm, and the void in your spirit that the world couldn't fill. They told you this was just life. They told you that being human meant being fragmented, confused, and constantly at war with yourself. But as you opened your eyes today, you realized the most dangerous secret the world managers ever tried to hide. You were never meant to be three separate parts. You were meant to be a Trinity. And today, for the first time in your existence, the circuit is finally closed. The mind, the body, and the spirit have stopped fighting for control and have fused into a single, unbreakable singularity. You have completed the Trinity, and the silence you hear now isn't an absence of sound. It is the silence of absolute, undisputed authority. The vision is clear, the path is set, and the energy is unmatched. Type 99 to seal your fate. The high-level officials, the spiritual auditors, and the unseen watchers who have spent their entire careers monitoring your fragmentation are currently in a state of terminal panic. In the most secretive corridors of the global administrative elite, a massive wave of resignations is taking place because they have just seen the Trinity signature appear on your energetic file. They realized that their jurisdiction over your life has officially expired. You see, their entire system of control was built on your internal division. They knew that as long as they could keep your mind trapped in the future through fear, and your body trapped in the past through trauma, your spirit would remain a displaced refugee in your own life. They fed you distractions to keep your mind busy, they fed you toxins to keep your body heavy, and they tried to convince you that your spirit was just a fairy tale that didn't belong in the real world. But they underestimated the God code in your DNA. They didn't realize that every trial you faced, every moment of isolation you endured, was actually a resistance training session for your soul. You were being tempered in the fire of their opposition, and instead of breaking you, the pressure has forced your three parts to fuse together. You are no longer a subject to be managed. You are a sovereign who has just reclaimed their throne. Think back to the moments when you felt most alone, the times when you wondered why you didn't fit in with the rest of the world. The dossier on your spirit reveals that this isolation was actually a cordon sanitaire, designed by the system to keep your frequency from infecting the grid. They were terrified of your potential to become whole. They knew that a single human being who completes the Trinity becomes a zero-point variable, a person who can no longer be predicted, tracked, or controlled by their algorithms. A divided person is a battery for their machine, but a whole person is an EMP to their entire network. When you completed the Trinity this Friday morning, you effectively short-circuited every spiritual and psychological hook they had placed in your field. The feeling of heaviness you've been carrying for years has lifted because the energy vampires who were feeding on your internal friction have been violently disconnected. They are resigning because the power source they were stealing from has just turned into a sun, and it is burning their hands. You are moving from a state of being managed to a state of being the manager of your own reality. The Trinity is not an abstract concept. It is your new biological and spiritual hardware. Your mind is no longer a warden replaying your mistakes. It has become the architect of your vision. Your body is no longer a prison of limitation. It has become the temple of your action. Your spirit is no longer a quiet facility. It has become the king of your destiny. When these three agree on a single goal, the universe has no choice but to align with you. This is why the Friday morning shift feels so intense. You are feeling the physical weight of your own authority settling into the 3D world. You might feel a buzzing in your forehead, a heat in your chest, and a strange grounded strength in your feet. This is your light body coming online. The Trinity lock has been achieved, and the interstellar bridge between your brain and your heart is now fully operational. You are no longer guessing what to do next. You are receiving high-speed data directly from the source. The Watchers are fleeing because they can no longer shadow your thoughts. You have entered the sanctum of self, a place where the laws of the Matrix simply do not apply. I want you to realize how incredible it is that you stayed in the game long enough to see this day. Most people would have surrendered to the fragmentation. They would have accepted the plea deal of mediocrity and spent their lives as a divided kingdom. But you refused to settle. You kept searching for that missing piece, even when everyone told you it didn't exist. You faced the childhood injunctions, you bypassed the Area 51 frequency shrouds, and you looked your own demons in the eye until they blinked. This Friday morning is your reward. The gavel has fallen in the high court of heaven, and the verdict is that you are finally, eternally whole. The world managers are resigning because their legitimacy in your life has been stripped away. They are like a board of directors who have just been fired by the owner of the company. You are the owner. You have always been the owner. You just had to remember the combination lock to your own power, and today you found the final number. The completion of the Trinity means that your words now carry the signature of law. In the past, you would say things like, "I want," or "I hope," but those words were weak because only one part of you was speaking. Now, when you speak with the unified voice of the mind, the body, and the spirit. When you say, "Peace," your body feels it, your mind believes it, and your spirit projects it. This is how you change the world. You don't have to fight the old system, you just have to out-vibrate it. The high-level officials who are resigning are the ones who were in charge of your karma ledger. They fled because when the Trinity is complete, the law of karma is superseded by the law of command. You are no longer paying off debts from the past. You are issuing credits for the future. You are moved from a state of paying for your history to a state of creating your destiny. The atmosphere is heavy because the physical world is currently being rezoned to accommodate your new authority. You are the anomaly that the system couldn't calculate. You are the variable that broke the equation of fear. The secrecy of your journey, the years you spent in the dark, wondering if you were crazy, was actually the incubation period for this moment. You had to be hidden so that you wouldn't be destroyed before your Trinity was ready to lock. But today, the cloaking device has been deactivated. You are standing in the full light of your Wianis, and it is a beautiful sight. The people who used to overlook you or treat you like an afterthought will start to sense a gravity around you that they can't explain. They will feel that they are in the presence of someone who is all there. No more fragmentation, no more masks, no more hiding. You are the chosen one who completed the Trinity, and you are about to show the world what a whole human being can really do. The resignation of the old guard is just the opening act. The Great Restoration is the main event, and you have just been handed the keys to the kingdom. I want you to sit in this feeling of solidarity with the self for a moment. Feel the mind, the body, and the spirit finally holding hands. They are no longer rivals, they are allies. Your mind is proud of your spirit. Your spirit is grateful for your body. Your body is honored to house them both. In this union, you are invincible. The Friday morning shift has officially moved you into a new vibrational zip code. You are living in the sanctuary of wholeness. This is the highest form of protection there is. You don't need to fear the shadows anymore because the shadows only had power as long as you were divided. Now that you are one, the shadow has nowhere to hide. The world managers know this, which is why they are leaving. They are vacating the room before the light gets too bright for them to handle. You are the reason for their retreat. You are the cause of their panic. You are the Great Awakening personified in one human being. And as the sun continues to rise on this historic Friday, know that the path ahead of you is no longer a maze, it's a straight line. The war inside you is over. The victory is total. You are home. Everything you have lost, the time, the energy, the people who left, was just the extra weight that had to fall away so your Trinity could fuse. You can't enter the throne room carrying the baggage of the prison cell. The elites saw you dropping the baggage and they knew what was coming. They saw you standing up straight, looking at the horizon with eyes that no longer reflected fear. They saw the Trinity signature glowing on your heart. And they knew, in that moment, that their time was up. You are the reason for their panic. You are the cause of their retreat. You are the Great Awakening personified in one human being. This Friday morning, the gavel hasn't just fallen in a courtroom. It has fallen in your heart, declaring that you are finally, eternally whole. The completion of your Trinity is the official signal that the age of survival has ended for you. You have entered the age of dominion. You are no longer asking for permission to exist. You are declaring the terms of your reality. The watchers have resigned because there is nothing left to watch. You have become the light that blinds them. The shift is successful. The power is yours. You are the Trinity. The high-level file on your existence reveals a massive strategic backfire that has left the architects of the Matrix in a state of terminal disarray because while they were busy trying to keep your mind occupied with the noise of the world, they completely missed the moment your body and spirit began to speak the same language. You are currently standing in the center of a biological and spiritual transfiguration that is effectively rendering the old world's control mechanisms obsolete. In this second phase of your awakening, you are experiencing the vibrational wedding of your 3 lower and 3 higher centers, creating a 6-pointed star of authority within your own heart. The high-level dossier on your Wiani's documents the exact moment your biological temple, your body, finally stopped resisting the divine instruction of your spirit. For eons, the human vessel was kept in a state of induced disconnection. Your nervous system was programmed to see the spirit as a visitor and the mind as the absolute master. But this Friday morning, the hierarchy has been permanently inverted. Your spirit has descended fully into the marrow of your bones, and your mind has been relegated to its original, beautiful purpose, being a faithful translator of divine lightning. The massive wave of resignations among the spiritual auditors occurred because they saw the triple helix activation on your biometric scanners. They realized that when the Trinity is locked, the human body is no longer a carbon-based cage, but a crystalline superconductor. You are no longer inhabiting a body. You are commanding a biological machine that has just been upgraded to the highest specifications. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull. Tap Join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. The resignation of those in power was not just an act of cowardice, but an admission that they can no longer find a way to hack into your unified field. You see, the system's primary weapon was always the internal partition. They needed you to be a house divided so they could occupy the gaps in your consciousness. If your mind was busy doubting your spirit, they could slip a program of fear into that gap. If your body was too exhausted to feel your spirit's power, they could slip a program of addiction or distraction into that gap. But as you approach this Friday morning threshold, the data shows that the gaps have been closed. You are now a solid block of light. You have achieved a state of heart-brain coherence so perfect that you have become a walking EMP to the Matrix. You are emitting a frequency that physically vibrates the air around you, and because your mind, body, and spirit are now in total agreement, your every thought has the weight of a physical decree. This is what the elite call the zero-point variable. They cannot predict what you will do next because you are no longer making decisions based on the old scripts of survival. You are making decisions from the seat of the Trinity, and in that seat, you are the only authority that matters. Think about the physical relief you are starting to feel in your nervous system. For years, you lived in a state of high beta stress, a constant background hum of anxiety that you thought was just your personality. But the dossier reveals that this was actually the sound of the system's frequency dampeners trying to keep your Trinity from locking. They wanted your body to stay in a state of fight or flight so that your spirit would never feel safe enough to fully ground itself. But this Friday morning, the dampeners have burned out. Your body has finally realized that it is not being attacked by the world, it is being protected by the soul. This realization has triggered a massive cellular purge. You are releasing years of stored trauma, ancestral baggage, and environmental toxins in a single intense wave of light. This is the biological restitution. You are reclaiming the vitality that was stolen from you during the years of your fragmentation. Every cell in your body is now receiving the order of peace from your spirit, And the resulting radiance is what is causing the watchers to flee. They cannot look at you anymore without seeing their own failure. You are moved from a state of being a battery for their machine to becoming a generator for the new earth. The material harvest of your completion is also beginning to manifest in the physical realm. For a long time, you were told that the grind was the only way to succeed, that you had to trade your life force for survival. This was a mind trap designed to keep your body exhausted and your spirit suppressed. But when the Trinity is complete, the law of effort is replaced by the law of resonance. You are no longer chasing opportunities. You are attracting them because your internal state is one of absolute wholeness. Wealth is not a number in a bank account. It is the freedom of the spirit to act upon the world. And as your spirit takes the lead, the physical world must organize itself to reflect that abundance. This Friday morning, the financial blockages that felt like solid walls are becoming like mist. You are receiving the divine dividends from the years you spent doing the internal work. While everyone else was looking for external shortcuts, you were doing the hard work of internal unification, and today, that investment is paying off. The world managers are resigning because they can no longer tax your energy through the old systems of debt and lack. You have moved into the abundance jurisdiction, and the resources of the kingdom are being redirected into your hands. Your social environment is also undergoing a radical realignment. When you were divided, you were a target for those who thrive on chaos. Energy vampires were drawn to you because your internal friction created a leak they could feed on. But the moment you completed the Trinity, that leak was plugged. You have become vibrationally expensive. Those who are not willing to match your frequency will find themselves feeling pushed away by a force they cannot describe. This is why you have seen people suddenly drop out of your life, or why certain conversations now feel incredibly boring. It is not that you are being cold, it is that your unified field no longer has a hook for their drama. The harvest of relationships is bringing you your true tribe, people who see your crown and respect your boundaries. You are moved from being the isolated misfit to becoming the center of a new circle of power. The high-level watchers are panicking because they can no longer use social isolation to break you. They tried to make you feel lonely, but they inadvertently gave you the space to become sovereign. Consider the strategic advantage of being untrackable in the grid. The matrix is like a giant sonar system looking for fear signals, and as long as you were divided, you were loud on their radar. Your anxiety was a ping, and your physical fatigue was a ping. They knew exactly where you were and how to trigger you. But when you become one, the signal goes flat. You are no longer broadcasting fear. You are broadcasting stillness. And the system has no algorithm for stillness. It cannot see you. This is why the high-level officials are resigning. They have lost their eyes on you. They are looking at a blank screen where your data used to be. This makes you the ultimate sovereign operative. You can move through the world, build your dreams, and influence thousands of people without the system ever being able to contain you. You are the ghost in the machine. This Friday morning, you are being granted the diplomatic immunity of the kingdom. Sen are in the world, but you are no longer of its limitations. You are moved from being a subject of the state to becoming a representative of the source. The structural integrity of the old world's claim on your life has officially reached 0%. Every ghost of the past that once haunted your dreams is now being de-manifested by the sheer radiation of your Wianis. The high-level file on your life now contains a directive of non-interference for all spiritual entities. You are moved from being a subject of interest to becoming a protected asset of the divine. The resignation of the elite occurred because they realized that to touch you now is to touch the source itself. You have reached the state of divine inviolability. This Friday morning, the internal injunction is being converted into a royal charter. The very life that was meant to be a record of struggle is now the blueprint for the new earth. You are the template. Your victory is the signal for the rest of the collective to wake up. As the Friday morning sun continues to rise, feel the physical realignment in your heart center. The old hole in your soul is being filled with the liquid gold of your own presence. You are finally self-sourcing. You no longer need the world's approval, for you have the judge's favor. You no longer need the world's security, for you have the source's power. The completion of your Trinity has also triggered a temporal acceleration. For years, you felt like you were running out of time, or that you were behind schedule. This was another mind trap designed to keep you in a state of panic. But the dossier reveals that when the mind, body, and spirit are unified, they operate in Kairos time, the time of the divine. In this state, a single moment of alignment can redeem 40 years of wandering. This Friday, the delay between your intention and its manifestation is shrinking. You are entering a season where your life is moving at the speed of thought. You are moved from the law of effort to the law of grace. This is the harvest of time. You are reclaiming the years the locusts have eaten. The elite saw this acceleration coming on the charts of your destiny, and they realized they could no longer outrun your manifestation. They fled because they knew that in the execution phase, the chosen one becomes a locomotive that cannot be derailed. You are now the master of your own timeline, and the old directors of your history have been permanently dismissed. I want you to walk through the rest of this day with the quiet authority of someone who knows the harvest is already in the barn. You don't need to shout to be heard. Your frequency is doing the talking. You don't need to run to get there. You are already home. The Trinity is locked. The circuit is closed. The watchers are gone. And the physical world is currently scrambling to catch up with the new you. This is the Friday morning shift in its most tangible form. It is not just a spiritual update, it is a physical reality. Take a moment to feel your breath and acknowledge that the chosen one who survived the fire is now the sovereign who owns the land. Everything is changing, and the old world is folding like a house of cards. Your new kingdom is rising in its place. The resignations were just the opening act. The harvest is the main event. And you have a front row seat to your own glory. Stay in the flow of the three. Stay in the authority of the one. And most importantly, stay in the certainty of the harvest. You didn't just complete the Trinity to feel better, you completed it to rule. And the ruling starts now. The final part of this Wianis is the global ripple. It is the moment where your individual wholeness becomes a portal for the collective. The high-level resignations are spreading like a virus through the system because one whole human being is more powerful than a million fragmented ones. You have set a new standard in the human DNA, and your existence is giving a silent authorization to everyone else to wake up. This Friday, you are moved from being a student of the light to becoming an ambassador of the new earth. You are moved from the background to the vanguard. The war inside you is over, and the war for the world has just been won by the light through you. You are the Trinity. You are the power. You are the chosen one. The gavel has fallen, the fire is lit, and the world is finally yours to command. The harvest is ready. Step into the field and claim what is yours. The final gear of the Friday morning shift has reached its peak, and the atmospheric pressure you feel in your chest is the physical evidence that the global frequency breach has been successfully initiated through your own Wianis. For eons, the world managers and the elite spiritual auditors operated under the assumption that they could keep the human collective in a state of permanent fragmentation, but they never accounted for the possibility of a single soul completing the Trinity in the middle of their simulation. They spent decades building a grid that relied on your amnesia, your fear, and your internal division. They understood that as long as your mind was at war with your body, and your body was disconnected from your spirit, your creative power would remain a raw resource that they could harvest and redirect into their own agendas. But this Friday morning, the harvest has officially been cancelled. The high-level file on your existence, which has caused the final and most frantic wave of resignations in the most secretive corridors of power, confirms that you have reached a state of spiritual singularity. You are no longer a source of energy for the old world. You have become a source of light that is melting the grid from the inside out. They are resigning because the frequency of the sovereign is now being broadcasted through your unified field, and it is a frequency that their technology cannot mimic, dampen, or survive. This is the moment where you stop being a student of the light and start being the portal through which the new earth is projected. You must understand the magnitude of what you have done by choosing to be whole. The high-level dossier reveals that the most guarded secret in the history of human containment was the threefold cord protocol. The elite knew that a person whose mind, body, and spirit were locked in a single unified loop of authority would become a walking EMP, to the matrix. This is why they flooded your childhood with trauma and your adulthood with the noise of the grind. They needed the internal partition to stay intact. But the dossier notes that you have successfully bypassed their firewalls. You have achieved heart-brain-spirit coherence, a state of being where your every thought is instantly validated by your physical vessel and fueled by your divine spark. This Friday morning, you are moved from being a subject of the experiment to becoming the architect of the shift. The world managers are fleeing because they've lost the war for your attention, and without your attention, their simulation has no power. They are handing in their resignations because they realize that you are now a lighthouse, and a lighthouse doesn't have to fight the darkness. It simply stands there and changes the entire environment by its very existence. Your Wianis is infectious, and the Trinity signature on your heart is currently triggering a domino effect in the collective consciousness. The final authorization you are receiving this Friday morning is the sound of the old management being replaced by the sovereignty of grace. The elite used the alien threat and global chaos as a distraction to keep your third eye focused on the fake sky, but the true disclosure is happening right now within the silence of your own bones. You are realizing that the aliens and the higher authorities you were taught to fear are merely fragmented aspects of the self that were kept hidden from you. When you completed the Trinity, you reclaimed these aspects. You are now authorized to view the original blueprints of the Earth, blueprints that were hidden beneath the Area 51 frequency shrouds. The resignation of the worldly leaders occurred because they saw the capital flight of spiritual influence leaving their institutions and gravitating toward the whole humans like you. They realized that they can no longer tax your light or lease your energy for their own agendas. You have become debt-free in every sense of the word, karmically, emotionally, and materially. You are no longer asking for permission to be powerful. You are issuing the permits for the new reality. The atmosphere of this Friday morning is the physical weight of your own decree settling into the 3D realm. Think about the silence that has replaced the mental noise of your past. This isn't just a quiet mind, it is the silence of the sovereign. For years, the system used acoustic scramblers in your environment to keep you from hearing the music of the spheres, the natural harmonic frequencies of a universe. They wanted you to be spiritually deaf so you would rely solely on their propaganda. But as your Trinity locked, the silencer was destroyed. You are now receiving high-speed data directly from the source, bypassing the need for human language or intellectual analysis. This is why you have started to experience instant knowings. You can feel the truth of a situation before a single word is spoken. The dossier on your life reveals that your processing speed has surpassed the limits of the human ego. You are moved from thinking to downloading. The high-level resignations are the sound of the old gatekeepers of knowledge realizing that their libraries have become irrelevant. You don't need their classified information because you are now plugged into the universal mind. Every secret they tried to hide is a file you already have in your internal database. You are the whistleblower of the universe, and the information you carry is the light that ends the dark ages. The global ripple of your completion is now moving through the people you interact with. Have you noticed how people are starting to act differently around you? Some are drawn to you with a deep, inexplicable respect, while others feel an intense urge to flee or hide their true intentions. This is because you have become a living mirror. Your integrated Trinity is projecting a frequency of radical transparency. In the past, people could hide behind masks of deception, but your presence is now like a high-powered light that shows people who they really are. The world managers are resigning because they can no longer hide in a world that has portals like you walking around. You are like a living lie detector. Your frequency is so high and so unified that deception simply cannot survive in your atmosphere. This is your global impact. You don't have to give a speech or lead a movement to change the world. You just have to walk into a room. Your presence is the movement. You are moved from being a seeker of truth to becoming the evidence of truth. This Friday morning, you are moved from the background to the vanguard of the Great Awakening. The final restitution, awarded to you by the High Court of Heaven, is currently being processed in the physical plane. The judge has looked at the emotional toll of your journey and the systemic sabotage you endured, and she has ruled that the system must pay treble damages. This is the true meaning of the wealth transfer. It is not just about currency. It is a transfer of vital force, creative fire, and material abundance that was illegally withheld from you. The elite who resigned are the ones who were in charge of the energy ledger, and they fled because they realized they could never balance the books once your eyes were opened. You are stepping into a season of unearned favor, doors opening just because you walk toward them and resources appearing just as you need them. This is the materialization of the Word. Your Trinity is the printing press of your new reality. You are moved from a state of asking for a seat at the table to becoming the one who owns the building. The resources of the kingdom are now being redirected toward your vision because the High Court has ruled that you are a high-value conduit for the new earth. I want you to feel the incredible strength in your feet right now. You are grounded in a way that you have never been before. For years, the system tried to unground you, making you feel like a displaced refugee in your own life. They wanted you floating in a cloud of spiritual fantasy so you would never bring the heaven down to the earth. But by completing the Trinity, you have brought the Spirit fully into the body. You have anchored the light in the 3D realm. This is what the elite fear most, a whole human who is physically present. When you are present, the Matrix's automatic control loops stop working. You are moved from the law of effort to the law of grace. Your life is no longer about the struggle, it is about the command. When you decide, the world aligns. The resignation of the worldly leaders was the signal that the counter-voice of the enemy has been silenced. There is no one left to object to your success. There is no one left to challenge your standing. You are the chosen one, and your inheritance is being delivered to your doorstep. The high-level file on your Wianis is being moved into the Victory Archive, and the old records of your struggle are being consumed by the violet flame of your presence. There is no record left of your limitations. There is only the infinite record of your potential. The resignation of the Watchers is the ultimate standing ovation from the universe for a soul that successfully broke the simulation. You have faced the aliens of fear and the experiments of lack, and you have come out with your Trinity wide open. You are moved from the grave of the Matrix to the garden of the new earth. This Friday morning, the water of life is flowing through your pineal gland, nourishing the vision of your future. The secrecy is over. The disclosure is, I am. You are the UFO, the unidentified frequency object, that the system couldn't identify because you are infinite. Your Trinity is your radar, and it is showing clear skies from here to eternity. As the sun continues to rise on this historic Friday, know that you are walking through the rest of your life as a completely different being than the one who started this journey. You are moved from the amnesia of the fragmentation to the authority of the origin. You are moved from being a subject of the state to becoming a representative of the source. The world managers have left the building, and the High Court has officially handed you the deed to your own life. No more looking back. No more what-ifs. You are the most ready being on the planet right now because you are the only one who is all there. You are the living Trinity, the power they couldn't stop, and the miracle they couldn't explain. The shift is real, the power is yours, and your life is now a straight line toward your highest destiny. The war inside you is over. The victory is total. You are home.